How did the meeting with Elon go? Did it leave you hopeful or with more concerns?
Well, the meeting that we had on Tuesday actually was both a good opportunity for us to have a conversation, and we walked out of the meeting um, really focusing on hopeful, actually, that his actions actually connected with the words in the meeting, because he made 3 commitments in that meeting. Commitments around election integrity, commitments around the replatforming and ensuring there will be a transparent process before anyone has been replatformed that has been taken off for the egregious violations that anyone is the platform for. And then talking about sort of the content moderation council he'd have moving forward. He talked about agreeing with the sentiments and the concerns that those of us in the civil rights community brought up during that meeting. And we left the meeting really wondering what would come next. And at 1:30 in the morning the next day, he tweeted out, tagging us in that tweet, talking about the meeting and making those commitments more public. But over the last couple of days, we have seen him truly and systematically dismantle the very infrastructure that would make those commitments actually real. So the firing of safety and trust capacity inside of Twitter makes it impossible for him to actually deliver on the commitments and promises that he made in the meeting. So, you know, the thing is not just about your words, it's about your actions, and actions are key here.
And you are taking action by highlighting that move in your tweet. You tweeted Elon Musk fired the entire team that identified the Twitter algorithm that amplifies right-wing voices over others. Not the first time we've seen staff, particularly Black employees, punished for flagging how their company's products enable and amplify racism. Now, Musk today said there's been a massive drop in revenue given this pause from advertisers, even though, according to him, nothing has changed about content moderation yet. What do you say to the folks who say, let's give Elon Musk some time before we make these dramatic moves?
Yeah, well, that's what we did. We met with Elon Musk, and Elon Musk came out and made promises publicly. And then right after those promises, almost before the ink was dried on the promises, he began to dismantle the very infrastructure that would keep those promises in place. Look, I want to be clear. Elon Musk actually also met with advertisers. He met with coalitions of folks working in advertising. And in those conversations, he made promises to them. He talked to them about how content moderation was incredibly important and how he valued content moderation. And then he went and he let go of 75% of the staff that works on content moderation. So the advertisers that are leaving because they are concerned that their brands are going to be next to a product that the CEO in charge of it can't be trusted to deliver on their promises, acts in deeply erratic ways, and will put their brands in harm's way. And so, as someone who's done this work for a long time, has worked to hold corporations accountable, to help them meet their actions with their words, and to hold them accountable to that, I have never seen so many advertisers not have to be convinced, not have to be pushed hard around the sort of decisions that they are making right now. And quite frankly, Elon Musk did have an opportunity when he came in here to actually move things forward. Twitter was not a perfect company. Twitter was not doing everything well before Elon Musk took over. But what he has done is actually dismantle the type of infrastructure that actually had to be increased in order for the company to sort of live up to any type of commitment to deal with the misinformation, the disinformation, the amplification of hate and incitement of violence that has become part of this platform's current sort of engagement and its legacy.
Rashad, the reason that this is so important is because people of color, people in marginalized communities, women face a disproportionate amount of harassment and hate online. Can you explain why this matters for people who use Twitter, how he restructures and reframes the site?
Well, yeah. I mean, essentially what we're dealing with right now is not just Twitter, but all the technology companies are essentially self-regulated companies. And self-regulated companies are unregulated companies. Now, if we think about other industries, right? Our seatbelts are not necessarily safe, and our cars are not necessarily safe because of the benevolence of the auto industry alone. They are safe because there's infrastructure, accountability, standards. And so when you think about sort of the ways in which the business models work of social media platforms, what gets amplified, what is sort of the incentive structure of what drives profits, how advertising is placed up against certain types of content and not other type of content, and how that type of content then gets prioritized. You watch a certain section of choices that are made that are far beyond freedom of speech. Freedom of speech is not the same as freedom to be amplified, freedom of reach. And so to the extent that when you see that companies are making these type of choices, and then you look at the overwhelming body of research that shows, you can look at a recent University of Cambridge study that actually looks at who's getting more reach and who's not getting more reach. If you look at even the safety and trust teams inside of Twitter that were pushing for more visibility and transparency around the algorithms, those people who have now been let go, we know that the impact is clear. The consequences for the communities can be life or death in terms of how people are targeted, how people are exploited, how people are put in harm's way. And when you have an unaccountable billionaire running this company that feels he doesn't have to listen to anyone, the best that we have is the type of activism that holds those that seek to enable this platform, enable this leader accountable. And that's what we have to do. We have to speak truth to power. We have to hold folks accountable. And we also have to invite those who have a stake in this, even if they don't see themselves as activists, who believe in democracy, who believe in fairness, to actually speak up and put their hand on the scale as well.
Now, last question. The reason, the timing is critical. We're heading into a midterm election in just a few days. Talk to us about the importance of that, given, we're about to talk about a story about midterm candidates amplifying misinformation, getting the most engagement.
Yeah, well, that's not an accident, right? What we're seeing in terms of mis and disinformation is not a car accident, right? It's not just something that happens, it's manufactured. And when the tech platforms choose growth and profit over safety, integrity, and security, they create an incentive structure where people believe that they're going to benefit from it and that there will be rewards for it and there will not be consequences for it. And so when I think about even some of the changes that have been announced more recently, right, the $8 per month, which can seem almost fair on its face, that Elon Musk is charging for verification. Well, if you're not going to verify the identity, which he has not committed to, although he did talk about verification of identity on the call that we had on Tuesday, but all of the information coming out now is that they will not have time to develop a verification system before they roll it out. They can have folks claiming to be verified and then renaming themselves CNN or Bloomberg, renaming their names under the auspices of the Georgia Secretary of State, and then making claims about the election under a verified blue check, because verification can be bought now and not actually have some level of accountability. We watched after Elon Musk bought Twitter, the rise in the use of the N-word, because his followers believed that they could now say that, they could now move hateful language on the platform because he would support it. We have seen the increase of QAnon language and terms on the platforms since he decided he was going to buy it back in April. Over 50% of the counts from mid-October to now have been amplifying QAnon words and QAnon phrases have come on since Elon Musk announced that he was going to buy this company. And so we have watched both sort of the people around him, the people who are fans of his, the people who are supporting him, act out in ways, and then we've watched Elon Musk validate that. Even his own behavior on this platform, from amplifying an anti-gay conspiracy theory against Nancy Pelosi's husband to other things that he has tweeted out since he has bought this company, makes us all have to question, is he truly serious about leading this company? And at Color of Change, we have dealt deeply with tech CEOs and CEOs across the board, and I've never seen someone act and respond this way, so everyone should be concerned.